Welcome back to the Cozy Rosy Crochet channel, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how to crochet the We Love Granny heart. You don't have to work up these hearts in a traditional red or even a pink. They look stunning in absolutely any colour that you make them in. And it starts with a traditional granny square centre. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and of course the notification bell so you never miss out another one of my crochet patterns or tutorials again. For each one of these hearts you're going to need around 15 meters of yarn, and I've used various colours of Starcraft Special Aran, which is the equivalent of a worsted weight in the US. It has a recommended hook size of 5mm. That is the size hook that I have made up my hearts with, and the finished size is 3.5 inches across the widest part of the heart and 3.5 inches tall. You're going to need a pair of scissors and a darning needle, but if you're making it in one colour, you'll only need to weave in 2 ends. And thinking ahead, if you would like to create this layered granny square with this heart motif, you are going to need 4 stitch markers as well. Today I'm just going to show you how to stitch up these really quick granny hearts. The shade of yarn that I am using here is fondant, and it is one of my favourite pinks that Starcraft do, and I love the fact that the colours are the same in any yarn weight as well. We're going to start by placing a slip knot on our hook, and we're going to make a chain of 4. We're then going to slip stitch into that beginning chain, or the first chain that we made, by inserting the hook, yarning over, bringing it through and straight through the loop on your hook. This is going to create a ring for us to work into. At the top you can see where we've joined, and it's that middle area that we're going to be working into. Round 1 of our granny heart is very simply the middle of a granny square. We're going to start by making a chain of 3. That does count as our first US double crochet. We're going to yarn over the hook and insert into that middle ring. I'm going to hold the tail against the ring as well as I yarn over and bring that loop up. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 for our second double crochet. We're going to yarn over and reinsert once again into the centre of that ring. And we are now going to make our first corner. So we make a chain of 2. Working into the middle of that ring once again, we're going to work a further 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2 and 3. We're going to make our chain of 2 to make our next corner before working a further 3 double crochets into that same centre of the ring. We're going to make our third corner before working 3 double crochets back into the centre of that ring once again. All that's left to do is to make our final corner and join with a slip stitch to the 3rd chain that we started with. That's us create the middle of our traditional granny square, and normally I would encourage you to slip stitch all the way over to the corner, but instead we're just going to slip stitch into the next stitch of that 3 double crochet group. Going into round 2, we begin with a chain of 1, that does not count as a stitch, and into that next chain 2 corner space we're going to work 10 double crochets. So we're yarning over and inserting, bring our loop up, pull through 2, and that's number 1. We're going to make a total of 10, so we need a further 9 going into that same chain 2 corner space. That's number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, and that's going to be one of the peaks of our heart. Just going to double check my stitch count. So that space is obviously where the start is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches, and then into that final stitch of the next group of 3 double crochets we're working 1 single crochet. Into our next chain 2 space we work 2 single crochets. Into our next stitch we work 1 single crochet followed by a chain of 1. Into this middle stitch of our next 3DC group we're going to work the point of our heart. So we're going to work 1 single crochet, a chain of 3, and then back into that same stitch again, another single crochet. And that's going to make our point. We're going to work into it again to make it even pointy, even more pointy on the next round. We then make a chain of 1 before working 1 single crochet into the next stitch. Into our next chain 2 corner space we work 2 single crochets. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the next stitch and then skip the next 2 stitches back to our final chain 2 corner space where we're working 10 US double crochets once again. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Just going to double check my count because I get carried away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. We're then going to slip stitch into the same place that we started the round, so not into any of the stitches, but actually where we worked that first chain 1 of the round. So we're just slip stitching into that same place, and that's round 2. Doesn't look very hearty shaped yet. We're going to work 1 final round to define the shape of this heart. For round 3 we begin with that chain of 1. And then I'm just pulling this out so I can see that first stitch of the round. We're going to work 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. We're then going to increase into the next 2 stitches, working 2 half double crochets into each of the next 2 stitches. So we yarn over, insert, yarn over, bring a loop up, we yarn over and pull through all 3, and we're going to work a second half double crochet into that same stitch. We're going to repeat that into the next stitch, working 2 half double crochets into the next stitch 2. Into each of the next 2 stitches we're going to work 2 double crochets. So that's 1 and 2. Work a further 2 double crochets into the next stitch. That's 1 and 2. We're going to work 1 half double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. So we're yarning over, insert, yarn over, bring a loop up, yarn over to pull through all 3. So that was 1 half double crochet into the next for number 2, half double crochet into the next for a 3rd time, and half double crochet into the next, for the 4th time. We're then going to work 1 single crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. So that's insert, bring your loop up, yarn over, pull through 2. So that was 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is where we've just worked. We have a chain 1 space and our next stitch. So we're going to work 1 single crochet into the chain 1 space and then 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and that brings us to that chain 3 space. Into the chain 3 space we are working 1 single crochet, a chain of 3 and another single crochet into that same chain 3 space. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the next stitch before working 1 single crochet into the chain 1 space and 1 single crochet into that next stitch. So that's 1 into the chain 1, 1 into the next stitch. We then need to work 1 single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. So that's number 3. And that brings us back to our double crochets from the previous row. I'm going to work 1 half double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're then going to work 2 double crochets into each of the next 2 stitches. So that's 1, and work a second into the same stitch, and repeat that for a second time, working 2 double crochets into that next stitch. We then need to work 2 half double crochets into each of the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 and 2. Repeat that again into the next stitch, working 2 half double crochets. You should now have just 2 stitches remaining, and we are working 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. And all that's left to do is to slip stitch into where we joined the round previously, and we are ready to fasten off. So with your scissors, just fasten off, leaving a long enough tail to weave those ends in, and bring that through. And there is our heart. We've just got these ends to deal with. So the first thing I'm going to do is, because I worked over my tail, I'm just going to pull gently to close that middle circle. With the wrong side of the heart facing me, I'm just going to thread that yarn onto my darning needle and weave it through the back of those stitches on the reverse of the project. A few times around, just to kind of help bury it and keep that middle closed. We just have to deal with our last tail. I'm going to bring that to the wrong side of my project, and again just weave it through these corner stitches here. And that completes our granny heart. You'll find a link to the tutorial video to transform this individual heart into a layered granny square linked below in the description box. It will be available slightly later than this individual motif pattern, and we're going to have to mark these stitches with a stitch marker, so I'll go over that in the next video with you. I hope you love making these granny heart motifs as much as I do. They're so quick and easy, and I can't wait to stitch them onto everything.